Artful Construction is about the three of us.
It's what we can do, it's a combination of our skills.
Artful's main creative strength is the diversity of our backgrounds.
I first qualified in industrial design in Birmingham, and that led to getting my first job in power boating. I did the exhibitions, the interior design, and helped with the production management, which led into the business of, we set our own business up doing yachts, the first trailer sailor that was on the market, I believe. That led into doing difficult work for advertising agencies. We got a name for doing awkward, impossible jobs. Whenever there was something awkward to be made that nobody knew how to make, for some reason they came to us.
I did a BA in Fine Art Sculpture from Manchester Met. I did a teacher training course to teach fine art at a degree level, and then I did a master's at St Martin's in industrial design.
I started out by doing an H&D in design model making, then went freelance and decided that I'd try and get into more product design work, and on the way did advertising model making as well. So done work on projects from Smirnoff to GNER, Singapore Airlines, Carlton International makes suitcases, all sorts. So most of it was in-house, and then decided that I'd like to go back and study design. So I went back and did a 3-year BA honours in spatial design.
We make things in 3 dimensions out of various materials.
Our work involves a mix of 2D and 3D projects, and we're very flexible in that we can cope with diverse projects such as a 10-foot high fiberglass sculpture at the same time as running a brochure for a toy supplier.
It's anything from graphic, product industrial design to model making, prototyping, exhibition design stands, large scale commercial sculpture, products catalogues, all sorts of things.
Artful's location out in the Devon countryside, the facility is fantastic, the location's fantastic, which always makes a difference to your work ethic. We're in Bickley, and most people know Bickley for the bridge or the Fisherman's Cot pub. But then if you say we're next to Bickley Castle, most people also know there.
King Billy was the third figurehead that we did. It took 2 years to do actually King Billy. He was a colossal restoration job. He is a figurehead off the Royal William that was launched in 1835, I think. And the top deck was taken off the Royal William in 1860. This is when the figurehead came off and was made into a standalone sculpture. When this figurehead was left outside, exposed to the weather, a lot of the original figurehead rotted away. And we had to replace the structure, and using modern materials, we restored him as well as we could. To go inside the museum, obviously this structure couldn't go outside anymore, so we had to make a replica that was made out of GRP, which is glass reinforced fiberglass. Plastic, and that withstands the weather very well indeed. Paddington Walk was it's a concept that was given to us from an advertising agency. They came up with the idea of a high heel shoe. The Paddington Walk development is houses that are very near Paddington Station. The concept of the publicity was that they would have a giant high heel shoe. It was a very interesting problem for us because a high heel shoe is a very complicated shape. Apart from anything else, it has to balance the whole of the structure on a very small heel. But there isn't a single straight line in it at all. A very curvy, complicated shape. They arrived one day with a Jimmy Choo shoe, and they said, we want a big one of these. And so we had to solve the problem of making a big one. We solved it by building an armature and then cladding the armature in clay, sculpting it to exactly the right shape and form, and then again made a mould from it using silicone and the finished item made in fiberglass.
The project for Topshop is through a friend of mine from my masters, and initially it was from a competition to put a design intervention into Bloomberg. They got a huge, massive tower block in the middle of the financial district in London, and they won the prize, and they got to produce this stuff and put it in there. And basically what it is, it's very large, chunky, simplified furniture with a vinyl applied of a design classic on the side. And somehow or other Topshop found out about this, and they thought, that's absolutely fantastic. And so my friend and Topshop have commissioned us to make the furniture.
The Leon Hand was for a new series of restaurants that are opening up. It's their logo. It's basically a hand with an orange that lights up. It glows in the dark. Nick Dimbleby came to us with the clay already done, the clay version of a hand and an orange, but he didn't know how to actually make it in 3 dimensions and make the orange so that it lit up. So we were able to solve those problems and produce a finished item that could go straight up outside the restaurant. It is a typical example of the sort of 3-dimensional signage that we do.
One in the window of Rough Trade Records and Slam City Skates in Covent Garden. It's a kind of large advertising board, I suppose, made from fibre optic lights. It's to draw people's attention as they walk through an alleyway, because there's like a big distraction at the end of the alleyway. And so people are looking at that and they're not looking at the shop and walking straight past. So we put this thing in the window to glitter and sparkle in the corner of their eye, so they can, it's a record shop, fantastic.
Pub signs, we did Banks's. The concept was to keep the look of clay, the subtlety of surface, and yet make it about over a metre tall. Well, the first rollout was 50 pubs, and at least all of them had one, and some of them had 2 of the brewer boards, as they're called. We also did Green King and Ushers and Adnams as well.
The process we go through to create work, I guess, would be it would start from conception, so coming up with ideas, research, depending on the project, going to visit the place, researching history, anything that can give us ideas in different ways of producing the little spark of insight or interest or excitement.
Once a project's been confirmed, we try to build up an immediate close working relationship with our clients. So the client can send us technical drawings or a brief with a hand-drawn sketch. We can then interpret that into SolidWorks and then email them back a live computer file, so they can then rotate the 3D object, and it allows them to be reassured that we've interpreted their information well, and it allows us to be reassured that we've interpreted the information well.
We would then come up with some prototypes that can be composited into an existing scene, which makes it much easier for people to understand what we're actually proposing.
Then it would be development, so working out how something could work, or producing drawings, prototypes, sketch modelling, stuff to block out the actual idea, to give us an idea of exactly how the final piece is going to work. And then realisation, which is an accumulation of the development stage to produce the final piece, based obviously in the workshop.